Most people think they're losing because they aren't good enough. They think they lack discipline. They think they lack confidence. They think they lack motivation, intelligence, luck, or some missing trait that everyone else seems to have. So they try harder, they wake up earlier, they push themselves longer, they sacrifice sleep, they grind, and when nothing changes, they blame themselves. But that assumption is wrong. You're not losing because you lack something. You're losing because you're being kept busy. Not distracted, not lazy, busy. And that difference matters more than almost anyone realizes. Because distraction makes people unfocused, but busyness makes people compliant. Busy people don't rebel, they don't question, they don't redesign their lives, they just keep going. And that's exactly what's required. Busyness is one of the most effective control mechanisms ever created, not because it hurts you, but because it feels productive, it feels responsible, it feels mature, it feels like progress. You're doing something, you're checking boxes, you're handling obligations, so it must be working, right? Except years pass, and your position barely changes. And you were taught that productivity is power, that if you stay active, stay disciplined, stay consistent, success will eventually reward you. But look around. The system doesn't reward productivity. It rewards position. Two people can work equally hard. One becomes free. The other stays trapped. Same effort, different outcome. Why? Because one is busy executing someone else's structure, and the other is building leverage. Busyness isn't neutral, it points somewhere, and most people's effort is aimed away from freedom without them ever realizing it. Think about it. You wake up early, you rush through your morning, you handle responsibilities, you meet expectations, you go to bed tired, and at the end of the day, you feel accomplished, but nothing structurally changed. Your income didn't detach from your time. Your leverage didn't increase, your optionality didn't expand, you just survived another day. Movement isn't progress if it doesn't change your position. Running on a treadmill still feels like running, but you never leave the room. Here's the uncomfortable truth. The system doesn't need to keep you distracted. Distraction makes people sloppy. The system needs you focused on tasks, focused on schedules, focused on short-term wins. Busy people don't ask dangerous questions. They don't ask, why am I doing this? They don't ask, who does this actually benefit? They don't ask, if I stop tomorrow, what survives? Because those questions require time, and busy people don't have time. Busyness feels safe. That's why people cling to it. When you're busy, you don't have to think. You don't have to confront the quiet fear that maybe, just maybe, this path isn't going anywhere. Busyness gives you identity. You're not lost, you're not stuck, you're working hard, you're responsible, you're dependable, you're doing what you're supposed to do. And that identity protects you from criticism, from doubt, from self-reflection, because stepping back and evaluating the system you're inside of is terrifying. What if you realize you've been climbing the wrong ladder? What if you realize the finish line keeps moving? What if you realize that all this effort isn't building freedom? It's maintaining a structure that needs you exhausted? That realization hurts, so people stay busy instead. Here's the part no one explains clearly. Effort scales linearly. Leverage scales exponentially. Effort trades time for outcome. Leverage multiplies outcome per unit of time. If you stop applying effort, the result stops. If you build leverage, the result continues. And the system is designed to push you toward effort while quietly steering you away from leverage. Why? Because leverage creates independence. Effort creates predictability. Predictable people are easy to manage. Busy people are easy to schedule. Busy people are reliable. Busy people show up. Busy people don't disrupt systems. They maintain them. Look at how most jobs work. You are rewarded for showing up, not for redesigning the structure. You're praised for consistency, not for independence. You're promoted for reliability, not for leverage, because the system doesn't want you free, it wants you dependable. And dependable people don't question the machine they depend on. Hard workers aren't punished, they're used. They become the backbone, they are praised, they are trusted, they are leaned on, and they are kept exactly where they are, because replacing a hard worker is expensive. but freeing one is dangerous. Hard workers make the system run. Leverage people make the system unnecessary. That's why hard workers often feel confused. They do everything right. They show up early. They stay late. They outperform expectations. And yet, something feels off. They're exhausted but not free. They're respected but not independent. They're essential but still replaceable. The system doesn't crush them. It just keeps them busy enough to never leave. Here's where the trap deepens. After a while, busyness becomes your identity. If you stopped, who would you be? If the calendar cleared, what would remain? Most people don't know, and that's terrifying. So they fill their time. More tasks, more obligations, more noise, anything to avoid the silence where clarity lives, because clarity forces decisions, and decisions force responsibility. It's easier to stay busy than to choose a direction. The system doesn't want you broke. That would be unstable. Broke people break systems. They revolt, they collapse, they become unpredictable. The system wants you comfortable, just enough money to survive, just enough progress to stay hopeful, just enough reward to keep going. Hope is the leash. As long as you believe the next promotion, the next raise, the next opportunity is right around the corner, you'll stay busy. You'll keep trying harder. You'll keep blaming yourself, and you'll never question the structure. And this is why trying harder rarely works. Harder effort inside a broken structure doesn't free you. It deepens your commitment to the structure. The more effort you invest, the harder it becomes to walk away, because walking away would mean admitting the effort didn't compound. And that's painful. So people double down. There is a moment that breaks the loop. It's not motivation, it's recognition. The moment you realize your exhaustion isn't proof of progress, it's proof of misalignment. The moment you realize that being busy isn't the same as building something, that moment is quiet. It doesn't feel empowering, it feels destabilizing. Because once you see it, you can't unsee it. And pretending becomes exhausting. At that point, a different question emerges, not, how do I work harder? But, what still works if I stop? What produces results without your constant presence? What grows without needing permission? What compounds instead of resets? If the answer is nothing, then you don't have a system, you have a routine, and routines break the moment you do. This is why most people never escape. Not because escape is impossible, but because redesigning your life requires temporary instability, and people are trained to fear instability more than stagnation. They choose the familiar trap over the unknown exit. They choose predictable exhaustion over uncertain freedom. They stay busy, they stay tired, they stay safe. The system doesn't need to stop you, it just needs you busy enough to never step back and question the structure you're inside. Once you see that, your goal changes, not to do more, but to position yourself differently, not to stay busy, but to build leverage, not to escape overnight, but to stop running on treadmills that go nowhere. Busyness feels like progress, freedom feels quiet, and most people are too loud to ever hear it.